guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our UPBA Week 10 match. This week we are taking on Byron and the Pittsburgh Registeelers. This is going to be a pretty good match. Byron's got probably the scariest team in the entire league. The only thing that I find that it's lacking is hazard setting and hazard support. He doesn't have the best removal options, and he doesn't have the best setting options. But what he makes up for is a lot of bulk. He's got a ton of bulk, and his team is super hard to break through, and I don't have a grass type to deal with Milotic. I also only have Heliolisk, which actually would have been like perfectly fine this game looking back on it. I was really scared of the Rhydon potentially threatening my Heliolisk, same with him on top. I mean, Heliolisk is like generally a really frail mon, but it's the best switch in I could have had for Milotic, considering he didn't bring a ground type, as you'll see. So let's run through Byron's team real quick here. He has Tapu Koko as an offensive Z user as well, Milotic, Latias, which is his super Z user, Tangrowth, Porygon 2, Hitmontop, Talonflame, which is an offensive Z user, Crustle, Alolan Persian, Rhydon, and Mega Scizor. He brought one thing I wasn't expecting. I can't remember what it was. Hitmontop, maybe? Not entirely sure. I was expecting him to bring Tapu Koko, Milotic, Latias, Tangrowth, Mega Scizor, and Talonflame, I think. And I think he threw Hitmontop in there instead of Talonflame. It shows me that he really has nothing to deal with my Registeel. My Registeel kind of puts in a lot of work. Again, I'm kind of bringing a lot of memes this week. This match matters a lot more than I thought it did initially. Turns out if Byron wins this match, he clinches playoffs because he will clinch the top seed in his division, which is really cool. Yeah, so 2 hard weeks in a row for us, taking on Cade last week and taking on Byron this week. I'm not expecting to win going into this game, to be completely honest, because I don't know if I mentioned this in my team builder or not, but again, I have nothing for Milotic. My team can't deal with it. Like, it's unkillable for my entire team. And so he pretty much wins just by bringing Milotic, but then Milotic plus Tangrowth, I have nothing to deal with. So we're just going to try and shorten the differential as much as we potentially can, and that's sort of the goal of this game. So if you haven't seen my team builder, we're actually on the other side of this, and I know Jed said you can switch the sides, but there's no side switch option, Jed. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, anyways, we're on Byron's side of the match for this one, but that's my team up on top there. We're bringing a physically defensive Suicune. We're bringing a very standard Pilliswine, Choice Scarfed Infernape, specially defensive Registeel, but we're a Curse set with Luminous Moss, which is kind of neat. And we're an Assault Vested Crocodile and a Silk Scarf, Power Punch Last Resort, Ambipom, which I was hoping could put in a little bit of work. Yeah, so I'm just going to lead with my Crocodile because I think that I can bluff that I'm going Rocks. And he's actually going to read that and go Hitmontop, which is a really good read on his part because it makes me switch out here. Notice that he doesn't show off the Intimidate there, which means he's likely Technician. I think it gets another ability, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. So he's likely Technician here, and I'm just going to go in my Suicune because it's my physical tank. Get the pressure off and take 2 close combats off of there. So he's only got 6 left. Eventually we could actually have stalled out his close combats. I'm going into Ambipom here, reading his switch, because there's no way he's not staying in. Now, Tapu Koko is an interesting mon. It kind of beats my entire team as well. I have no checks for these mons, so there's nothing I can do with it. There's nothing I can do about it. And Byron got an absolutely disgusting team. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I wanted Kieran Black. I could have drafted Tapu Koko. I probably should have gone Tapu Koko. This was like my first draft ever, so I have no idea what I was doing. Yeah. Anyways, I bring out Registeel because it's my special wall. And he's just going to U-turn, which is really bad for me. The fact that Tapu Koko gets U-turn is kind of bullshit if you ask me, but that's okay. Superpower on Mega Scizor, and I'm like, okay, well, you have something to hit my Registeel with now, so this is really bad, especially because I just clicked Curse thinking that you can't touch me. Yeah, so he shows to be the offensive Swords Dance variant according to the Pokemon calculator, the Showdown calculator at least. He's the Adamant SD Mega Scizor, which is pretty bad for my team as well. Oh no, you know what? It was Mega Scizor that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to bring Mega Scizor because I have Infernape, which destroys it. Like, destroys its soul. Absolutely destroys its soul. So, yeah, I don't know. He's got Mega Scizor. I have to switch out here, so I'm going to switch into my Suicune because, again, physical wall, and he's going to SD. So I'm like, okay, well, now you have Superpower and Swords Dance. This is really bad. I do get a Scald off on the top of Coco coming in. I mean, that was basically a switch every time, but I go into Crook here as he roosts. He can't touch me, so I figure the play is knockoff. I am Assault Vested, so Grass not going to touch me, Dazzling Gleam's not going to touch me, and I get the knockoff on the incoming Tangrowth and get that thing's Assault Vest off. So he's a lot less of a special tank on the Tangrowth. He can't take on my Suicune as well, but then he gets his own knockoff and gets rid of the Choice Scarf from my Infernape. I was expecting like a Giga Drain or something. Like I have 3 Mons weak to Grass sitting in front of him, and it was a good play. I'm playing horribly, by the way. I do get the U-turn read off on the Latias, and I go into Crook, and now he's Pursuit trapped. I don't know if he was predicting me to go for the Pursuit, but Pursuit killed him either way from that range, and he gets the Energy Ball off. He probably sees that I'm Assault Vested now, based on that damage. Um, yeah, so that was kind of the whole goal with Crocodile, was to Pursuit trap that Latias. That was pretty much Crocodile's only job this week, was to stop the Tapu Koko, force it to switch into Latias, and then Pursuit Trap it, or Pursuit Trap it at some point. He didn't fall for the Pursuit Trap, but he still died, so I'm happy with killing the Latias, especially with Crocodile picking up a kill. It's been fairly useless for me all year, all season, but I haven't been using it well in the first place, so I thought I'd switch it up with the Assault Vest set this week, and yeah, the rest of the game is not going to go so hot. We pick up that one kill, and now Hitmontop threatens us out, so we have to go into Suicune. Again, burning more close combats. He's down to 4 now. Suicune just eats that for days, and I believe this is where he switches in. Yeah, so here comes the Milotic, the threat, as I like to say. I get the Scald Burn, which doesn't matter because he was likely Flame Orb anyways based on the set he was running. Through a lot of calcs later, we'll see that he's actually bold, max HP, max defense. From my estimations, at least, he's got no special defense investment. We see the haze, which is really bad, because it now means that Suicune can't actually set up on this thing. And Tapu Koko setting the electric terrain here is kind of clutch. That'll come into play in a little bit. We get the Scald off. We're going to go into Piloswine here, because we can take whatever any U-turns, which is, again, really good play on his part, really bad for me. We go into Suicune to tank the Scizor hit here, as he goes for SD here, and we can eat this, so I'm going to click rest, because I know I live, and then we can get the Toxic, and Electric Terrain stops sleep, which I didn't even think about in the game, and I didn't think about in team building. Electric Terrain stopping sleep is one of the most forgettable things that I've ever seen. Like, I can't remember it ever. Like, even when I'm battling Tapu Koko in the games, I never remember this. So that's the idea, at least, is that that happened. Pretty unfortunate on my part, but what are you going to do? I just sack Suicune here to the toxic damage. Obviously, I can't do anything about it. Infernape threatens this thing out, but I'm just going to go for the close combat because I'm reading the Milotic's coming in, and that thing's stupid bulky, and essentially we've lost the game. So, because Milotic can tank another close combat, I have to U-turn out of there because he just gets a free recover off, and I go to my Registeel. If I had crit on the close combat, I would have killed it, and the game's probably a lot more different. He gets the crit on his own Scald on my Registeel, but I get the Luminous Moss, and I click rest on it. So now I'm a full HP, +1 Spit F Registeel as he gets the haze off on my Luminous Moss. That's fine. Sleep Talk rolls me rest twice in a row here, which is really bad. And he gets full HP on his Milotic, which is again another really bad thing. So I think at some point I double. Well, he goes Mega Scizor, and I just Iron Headed on the turn I was waking up. That does absolutely nothing to Mega Scizor. Things bulky. SD, I'm going to curse. I think he SDs again, and then I'm going to curse again. And his superpower still does stupid damage, even though I'm +2 defense. This 150 base attack that's a thing. Yeah, so I actually cursed again, thinking that it would do a lot less damage when I should have rested, and there comes another superpower. Yeah, so now we're going into Infernape again. We threaten this thing, but I actually clicked Flare Blitz this time, I think. Yeah, expecting him to maybe stay in, reading me to think that he's going into Milotic. I don't. I U-turn out. I believe Ambipom gets burned on the first turn from the Scald here, which is really unfortunate. Because now Ambipom's completely useless as well. I go for a Power Punch. I'm going to die to another Scald, Last Resort at +1 is doing nothing because I'm burned, so I need to get to +2 for it to do something. And another Scald just kills me because Ambipom's frail as hell. Maybe a lead Ambipom would have been better this week. I thought that the Power Punch Last Resort set could have put in a lot of work. Pilliswine pretty much gets taken care of by this by the Scissor here. I'm just trying to weaken it enough for him to come in. SD, he's just gonna roost again, I think, and then I Earthquake one more time to get him as low as I possibly can as he kills me. Yeah. Yep. Excuse me. There it is. So that's that. And now Crocodile. Earthquake kills this thing, so I'm gonna click it. I should have Fire Fanged, to be honest. I was expecting him to go to Milotic. Tangrowth was his check though, so there's the Earthquake. I'm gonna Fire Fang again, I think. Yeah, on the Tangrowth I Fire Fang one more time, and he Giga Drains and kills me finally. I'm actually relatively surprised that killed, but Crocodile is bad spit F, I guess. And then Close Combat from Infernape takes out the Tangrowth, so we only lose 4-0, but Milotic can just take us out with a Scald here. Yeah, because we're -2 spit F, so we die to that. So Byron wins, and he clinches himself a playoff spot with his 4-0 victory over us. The Scald Burn would have been maybe nice to not have, but you know, there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, we take on... who do we take on? We take on Dat Dude and the Dallas Marowaks next week. Next week in quotations, because it's Monday right now. So we have a long ways to go before this match is probably going to happen. I would imagine... well, I'm not even going to build for it until at least New Year's Day when I get back to my apartment. So I would imagine this match isn't going to happen until at least the New Year, sometime in early January during that week. So yeah, GG's to Byron. I wasn't expecting to win this game. The Sun Conference teams are all really good, and there's nothing I can do without a grass type to beat the Milotic. And Milotic gets Ice Beam. So that mon's ridiculous. I really want to draft it at some point, and I've never been able to get my hands on it. Maybe next season. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, GG's to Byron, and we played Dat Dude and the Dallas Marowaks. Keep an eye out for the team builder, and I'll catch you guys later.